Smartphone Insider here, and today I have for you a big box good. This is the Apple iPad Pro 11-inch I bought today at Best Buy. From my previous videos, you know I have a 4-year-old iPad, an iPad Air 2 which I received as a Christmas gift as a college student. Well, it's 4 years later, and have things changed? Let's check it out. Well, to begin, I never disliked the iPad, and I've always been a proponent of replacing my laptop with an iPad, since back in the day of the third generation iPads, the first iPad to have Retina display. But throughout the years of owning them, I always found myself wishing it was a laptop replacement, instead using it as a media device, buying keyboard cases and all other types of silly things, using a stylus to draw notes in third-party applications, and so on and so forth. To say the least, I've been through the building stages of iPad. So am I more likely to use iPad Pro as a laptop replacement than iPad? Let's make things clear. I have no interest in buying an Apple Pencil or spending the $150 for a keyboard case. I just bought a new MacBook Pro to edit movies, and quite honestly, it's a pretty good laptop. I love to have access to a full keyboard, a large screen, and I love that I can connect tools to it: digital cameras, microphones, external graphics processing units, and more. Neither of those things which I mentioned above can connect to the iPad Pro, with the exception of a DSLR camera, but even at that point, what you can do with files is limited. Instead, I find myself using the iPad as a media device, but more on that later. Immediately, my first impressions of this device are that it is stunning in looks, slim and sturdy, feeling that is, but given the new bend gate issues, I'm a little bit skeptical about breaking it in. Which begs the question, am I willing to keep this iPad over my iPad Air 2? Now, spec-wise, I should keep this iPad and replace the iPad Air 2 that I've had for 4 years now. But since iPad Air 2 failed to replace my laptop and caused me to buy a MacBook Pro, I'm not sure that I'm actually going to keep this device around. But more on that later. Let's start using the device. Given the positive reviews of the A12X, and it shows, and these stunningly awesome wallpapers, I can feel the sheer power of this device. And knowing it is as powerful as it looks, I really want to keep this thing and use it for more professional applications. I love the new 11.1-inch screen, the 120Hz display, and the liquid Retina display is great. When did technology turn round, by the way? What Apple is doing with the style of iPhone and iPad is different than anything we've seen in a long time. Squared off, angular devices are out. Speaking of round, I did not purchase an Apple Pencil. Will I purchase one? Most likely not. I am not a photo editor, and I think taking notes on the iPad is terrible. I am a major critic of taking notes on the iPad. I love the idea of editing video on the device after watching Jonathan Morrison do it, and I've always been a fan of working on iPad in Word, PowerPoint, Pages and Numbers, Excel and more, but I think this iPad fits in best as a consumer-grade professional laptop replacement if you're a college student. The Apple Pencil is a gimmick, I think, and I wish Apple would focus their resources more on making the iPad user-friendly for college students, writers, and other types of creators. Now, as it concerns using the device, gestures on iPad are something I love. And immediately coming over from an iPad Air 2, I had no issue making the transition. Swiping up on the bottom of the screen to return to the home screen, swiping left or right on the bottom of an application to enable app switching, etc. Have I mentioned how awesome I think the new wallpapers are? Regardless of how easy it is to switch between applications, what really matters is how intuitive the device is to use with Microsoft Word and other applications. Will I get a keyboard? Well, after writing this review, I'd probably have to say yes after the initial $800 hit to my pocket wears off. Walking into Best Buy, I was expecting the new iPad to be at most $700 for the 64GB model in space gray. And I was blown away when I realized my estimate was $100 off. But to tell you the truth, as a MacBook Pro owner, given the new Bendgate saga, I'm on the fence about whether or not this device is worth it or not. For now, seeing the device and having it in hand and using it and messing around with it, I'm going to have to say that it is worth the money. And statistics have shown this. I was reading an article just the other day where it's said that the Bendgate issue has not slowed down sales, according to Best Buy, of the new iPad Pro. Anyways, my name is John. The iPad Pro is a big box good. You're watching Smartphone Insider.